Hello and welcome back to Properties of Kites. Today we're going to talk about kites, how to find angles and side lengths of kites. Let's first go ahead and take a look at some different properties of kites. Kite is a quadrilateral that has exactly two pairs of consecutive congruent sides. Okay, so the two sides in this picture are AB is congruent to AD. So we have these two. Remember, consecutive is next to each other. We also have BC is congruent to DC. So these two are next to each other. Those are consecutive. One pair of opposite angles are congruent. Now, the picture doesn't tell us which pair of opposite angles are congruent, but typically in the kite, okay, it's going to be this one and this one. We're talking about the large angles here, so angle B and angle D. Last thing, diagonals are perpendicular. So right here in the middle, we have right angles for each of these. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at a few examples. We're going to apply these properties to each example. Number one, our goal is to find the measure of angle B and angle D. So the way that I do that is I have to know one of two things. Okay, the first thing we have to know is that these two are not congruent, so that means that B and D will both be the same. Okay, the second thing that we need to know is that quadrilaterals have 360 degrees. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take 360 and I'm going to subtract away everything that is not B and D. So I'm going to subtract away 85 and 43. Okay, and what this gives me is angle B plus angle D. Okay, so 360 minus 85 minus 43 gives me B plus D. Or we could say 2 B's or 2 D's, because we know that they're going to be the same. Okay, so 360, take away 85, and take away 43 is going to give me 232, and that's equal to angle B plus angle D. Now I'm going to change this because I know that these two are the same. I'm going to change it to 2 angle B's. And what this allows us to do is to divide by 2 on both sides, because we know that these are equal. And what that gives us is 116 is equal to angle B. So B is 116 as well as D. Okay, now we're going to have a look at number 3. Number 3 wants us to first find angle PTQ. So I start at P, go to T, go to Q. So if I outline that, that's right here in the middle. That's 90 degrees, because diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, next up we have angle PQT. So I start here at P, I go to Q, I go to T. Now how do I know what this angle is? Well, if I create a triangle here, I know that triangles have 180 degrees in them. So what I can do is I can do 180 minus 90 minus 37. Okay, what this gives me is a 3 and a 5. So we got 53 degrees for PQT. Next up we have QRT. So I start at Q, I go to R, I go to T. Okay, that's right here. I'm going to go ahead and fill this in with black. Okay, QRT is right here on the other side. We know that these two angles are congruent, so QRT is also 37 degrees. Okay, next up we have number 7. Okay, for 7, they want us to find RZ. Okay, so I'm going to do that in black. Here's RZ, that's what we're trying to find. They give us WX is 14. They give us WR is 8. Okay, remember from our picture up top that the 14 up here will be the same on this side. So what I'm going to do is create a right triangle right here and use Pythagorean theorem to figure out RZ. So I'll put a little X here for RZ, that's what we're trying to find. So I have 8 squared plus X squared equals 14 squared. This gives me 64 plus X squared equals 196. X squared is equal to 132. And then finally I get X equals 11.5. That's my side. This is RZ. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip over to the back. I'm going to look at 2 on this side. We got number 9 and 13. Okay, for 9 we have RS is 10. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and fill in the other side. RQ is also 10. And we have RU is 9. So here's 9. Okay, they want us to find QS. So QS is this total length right here on the bottom. Now there's no way for us to figure this out unless we know this in red. So again, I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. Okay, once I find the red length, I'm going to multiply it by 2, and that will give me QS. So I have 9 squared plus X squared, we're going to call this X, equals 10 squared. So 81 plus X squared equals 100. X squared is equal to 19. And when I take the square root, I get X equals 4.4. Okay, so X equals 4.4 is US. So US is 4.4. Now QS is equal to 2 times US. So that's 2 times 4.4, and QS is equal to 8.8. Okay, last one, number 13. Now for 13, we have to use something similar to what we did in our first problem. So I don't know anything about these except for the x's. We have x's and numbers. What I do know is that I have 109 here and 109 here. So I have two 109s. This total shape is equal to 360 degrees. Okay, so I'm going to do 360 minus 2 times 109, and that will give me the sum for A and C. Okay, so when you do this, you get 142. Okay, now I know that I have 5x plus 14 plus 3x plus 8, and that's equal to 142. I'm solving for x. 8x plus 22 equals 142. 8x is equal to 120 divided by 8 on both sides. That's going to give me my answer. Remember, we were trying to solve for x. The x is equal to 15.